Okay, so now here's the new technique. From here, your right hand slides down inside the collar. So I'm going to get my thumb in there, twist the collar around, and then get my thumb out of it. My left hand slides down, and I get to the outside of his coat here. A lot of guys will roll up your sleeves in your uniform, which is okay, just only make it the 3/4 length. This is where I want us all to go, which is a jiu-jitsu uniform. It's this is a lightweight, or what they call a single weave jiu-jitsu uniform. The gentleman out here selling them, our guy who's a supplier here, they're $70. Grab the outside of his uniform like this at the cuff. That's, of course, great. If not, it really is irrelevant. You just make your own, just like this. Once again, thumb out. And when he pushes up, now I have him here. That's when I open my guard and slide down. Now this foot goes to the inside of his hip, and I push him all the way back. No, don't do that, because that just collapsed on my sled. So don't do anything until I take it. Okay, so I push him back because at this moment, his right arm is trapped. There's really nothing he can do about it. His left hand, he's going to want to punch me in the face. So now come back up closer to me, like just before we did that. See, he can reach me from here. So that's why as soon as I get to this point, I push back with that right foot. Now he feels that, so I've canceled his death. And so he feels that distance. Now he's going to want to try to do something to get out of that problem and get around to punch me. But before he does that, my left foot comes around and I heel kick him in the temple with the heel of my foot. And this foot comes all the way down inside and matches his hip on the other side. So now if I let go, just stand up and see where my feet wind up here on both sides of his hip. It's exactly where I want it to be. Now in a second, I'm going to show you about using that bone. And when I talk about that, using that bone against his bicep muscle, I'm going to tell you, you turn your foot out. So when I say that, this is what I'm talking about, because when I turn my foot out, my shin bone now is going to go against his bicep, and you'll see that in a second. But I showed it to you here. So bring it. Good. So a lot of you are doing this, and you recognize it as the spider bend. So there's lots of different ways to get into it, but this is how we get into it. Now, he has 3 choices. One is to do nothing and see what I do, and I'm okay with that. 2 is to try to get around to my side so that he can punch me, but he quickly finds out that he can't until he moves that foot. So don't do anything until I tell you. I didn't say move my foot. Does anyone understand English in here?
I understand Spanish.
So you are muy malo. So that would be one. If a guy is moving to his left, start moving toward your left like he's going to try to punch me in the face. This tells me he's probably doesn't have much jiu-jitsu training, because he already knows what kind of trouble he's going to get in if he moves that way, which I'll show you in a second. I'll just go back so they can all see. The other thing he could do is try to move to the other side around that way and try to get his arm out, so he's going to try to pass my guard on this side. So once again, I just go with him. He would be able to get his arm out if I didn't anchor my elbow. When you anchor your elbow, see, it flexes your lats and your chest and all these huge skeletal muscles, so this becomes incredibly strong. He's not going to get that out. If I don't anchor, now it's just my rear deltoid and my forearm muscle, and he's going to be much stronger, and he's going to be able to go ahead and yank his hand out, and now I've lost the game. Now I'm in trouble. So just that little move of anchoring your elbow against your side is an enormous difference. Okay, now, the rest of this technique is built on his next move. He will take, especially guys who are more into striking than into grappling, will move this leg down, just like he did before when I told him not to do it. And when he does that, go back, right when he does that, I am looking for him to do that, and look how I drop my foot cross. See, my foot is over here, because I'm looking for the outside of this foot, and I'm hooking that leg. I'm looking for him to do that because he's frustrated because he can't reach me. It would be a very easy thing for him to do. Well, they just get the leg out of the way and I'll be able to punch him in the face. And that's actually what I want him to do. I want him to, so as soon as he pushes it, before that hand can come, and I'm looking for that hand to come So I'm turning, this is when I turn and drop my left knee to the ground, and I hook his foot, and see how that trips him this way. And he rolls. Now, there's another move from here, because I've got a hold of his arm, but it's not as Kenpo-esque as the move that I want you to do. Turning that foot out, and that turns my shin out, because if he pushes this leg down easily, and I can't quite get that to move, if he's coming around to be stronger than I am, I can't find the outside of that foot, and he's going to start to punch, that's when I pull down here and collapse, and then tap when you feel. So I start to crush his bicep, and it'll even break his arm if I continue to move. See, because I'm pulling down here, I want him to go ahead and fall on top of me. Then I turn my left foot out and start to push, thinking my shin bone is against his bicep, and it goes, the pain goes from 0 to 10 in a heartbeat. If I lose him here, and he comes in to punch, that's when I block that punch. Now I just grab the back of his head and there's the arm break. There's the arm break right there. So it's the left foot. See, my toes are pointing basically toward the ceiling. It's turning them this way. When I turn my foot, it brings the shin bone out, and the pressure's right there. If I can't re-grab here, so this hand is up here to block that punch. So I'm paying attention to that. I'm not letting go of this, even if it's an ugly fight and all, because eventually I might take some hits and some punishment here if I get this, and he comes down, and that's it. His arm breaks or his bicep just explodes, and it's a really bad place. So that's a great thing for you to know about what happens if you can't get the sweep. Well, I'm in a tremendous position if I blow it. You know, that's what's great about this particular position. You've got so many things that are wonderful for you to use. Now, let's say we go ahead and do the sweep, and it goes over, and see, I've still got this. So I've got his arm trapped, and all I do is roll over, and it's the same idea. My shin goes against his bicep, and all I got to do is roll over and sit up, and I'll blow his, it'll crush his bicep, it'll blow his elbow out. It's just going to be a horrible thing for